गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम्। Let there be peace, let there be peace and love amongst all the human beings in the universe. Let there be peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We have started the contemplation on the story of Veetahavya, chapter number 18. We have seen first three topics, started the fourth topic, Chitta-nassha Dvida, the two kinds of disappearance of the mind. The disappearance of the mind is very important because mind, when it is available, it first creates the duality, and because of the duality and because of the imagination, the world is created. If mind remains one with the consciousness, there is nothing to talk because sense of otherness is zero and sense of duality is also zero. So, where the question comes up talking. So that's what Sri Rama now asking. We have seen some of the shlokas, but quickly we'll recap. Sri Rama Vacha, shloka number 42, page number 187, chapter 18. Sri Rama Vacha, Jeevan Mukto Sharirana, Tathamatma Vidavara, Shaktayo Neha Drishyante, Akasha Gamanadika. What he is asking, Sri Ram is asking, best among the knowers of the self, the person is knowing the self. How is that the powers like moving in the sky are not seen here in the bodies of those liberated while living? Person who are liberated while living, can they not fly in the sky like birds fly? So his imagination is like the person who knows the self, he can do anything. And he'll have a lot of siddhis and all those stuff he's asking. So Vasishtha Uvacha Anatma Vidam Moktopi Nabhovi Haranidam Dravya Mantra Kriya Kala Shaktya Prapnoti Raghava. Raghava, one who is not the knower of the self, though he is not liberated, obtains ability like moving in the sky by the power of suitable materials, sacred words, religious rites, and opportune time. So the person who is Siddha, he is trying to know the truth, but then there is a digression because he was uttering the sacred words, he was doing religious rites, and he has a proper time. So he gets siddhis and he is caught in that. And then he wants name and fame, he wants to impress the people, he wants to prove something to someone, and that's what he's been caught. Next shloka 44. नात्मज्ञस्येष विषया आत्मज्ञोतात्मदृक् स्वयं यस्येच्छा विद्यते काचित् स सिद्धि साधयत्वलम्. It is not so with the knower of the self. But this is not the true for the Jivan Mukta people, the knower of the self. Once he has known the divinity within, he will not be doing all this thing because the knower of the self is himself the self knowledge. He himself is the self knowledge. He has become the undivided consciousness, devote of subject and object, and he is desireless. He is unfragmented, undivided consciousness, and that's why he becomes desireless. Let the person to whom even a little of desire exists secure enough power. The person who has a desire, then he secures enough powers by doing some puja, some secret word, some materialistic this thing, some tantric puja, and then he suffers. That's what has been said here. And siddhi is to prove superiority on others. Every siddhi is possible only when there is a duality as taken as real. So person suffers there. So now Sri Rama has understood that there is no point after the siddhis. Self person who is in the self, he never goes after the siddhis. That's what has been known to him. Now, Sri Ram is asking another question. Sri Ram uvacha Veetahavya nurmagna katham klina na bhutale. How was the body of Veetahavya which was immersed within the surface of the earth, not wetted, that is not affected by underground water and the like? उसका बॉडी कैसा क्या बचे रहा हो तो परेशान how it is possible now वशिष्ठ ऋषि says सबाया अभ्यंतरम स्पंद चित्तेजो वातजो तथा अथवा न यस्य विद्यते तस्य दूरस्थो विकृतिक्षयो. The change and destructions are far away from one to whom there is no moment, external or internal, produced by the mind or the vital air. If the person is totally in a nirvikalpa samadhi, the moment, external, internal moments are not there, so change and destructions cannot happen. 47. Sabhayabhyantare shante spande pavana chetasu dhyavato sanstiti dehe natyajati kadachana. When the moment of the vital air and the mind is extinguished or stilled externally and internally, essential ingredients of the body, that is, dhatus, never abandon their residence or continuance in the body. So once he is in a nirvikalpa samadhi, even the body cooperates, it remains steady. Shloka number 48. Ye tu vidyata vidyata vitaraga madhiya vichinya vrantaya sarve te swatantra tano stita. All those who have known what is to be fit to be known are free from the desire, possess lofty knowledge, and have the knots of the ignorance torn as certain, remain in the body self dependent, that is, or uncontrolled by the external nature. That means, if you really know, like we say, whether you want it or not, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, you are divine. Once you know their divine nature, then it is fit to be known, and then you are free from the desires. You possess lofty knowledge, and knowledge of knots of the ignorance are being removed. So, what is a knot? Knot is K-N-O-T knot is the knot if your neck is not in that. That means when you are wearing the tie, there is a knot. But if you take out your neck out of that and straight, then it becomes the piece of cloth. So the knot is only when you are physically present there. Your neck is there, then only the knot of the tie can be of any use. Whereas similarly, if not, should not trouble, KNOT not, of ignorance should not trouble, then you should not be in that. That's what has been said here. So an individual is said to be abiding in the absolute self. When there is no sense of otherness, like deep sleep, there is nothing. In the deep sleep, there is nothing. When we take otherness is real, then we get into the activities. When we see drama, we enjoy drama, but we don't jump on it. Raman Maharshi used to say, he is knower of self where there is no sense of otherness, where the question comes of helping anyone or hating anybody. So strive not, waste not our energy to fight against or to make friends with anyone, maybe enemies, maybe friends, maybe sons, maybe relatives. So seeking the self everywhere, discard the sense of division born out of ignorance. So you have to discard the sense of division which has come there. Those who have desires to do good to others get addicted to that. This is how the institutions are born. I want to establish school for the sake of society. So this itself is an ignorance. You can do the activities but unattached way. The born ignorance which comes because of the duality and incompleteness has to be dropped. And unless you drop that, you'll always be in a divine duality. And if you are duality, then you'll be suffering. When bhava is included in your chanting, then that expression is totally different. Then it is not siddhi, it is the expression of the divinity. So you should have a bhava. Take every event of life as a spiritual examination. If you are passing all examinations, then you are walking spiritual path. Otherwise not. Biaspanda. When you are interacting in the world, are you reacting or interacting or responding? You have to check that. Generally people react, then they interact. Hardly people respond. So reacting is bounce back by default. Keep our interest and interact. That is interacting. But responding is this is our spiritual examination. Mind should not be disturbed. Mind should not be disturbed under any condition. Karma karo, kamana mat karo. So everything boils down to either Hari Ichha or Hari Krupa. If you take Hari Ichha also as Hari Krupa, then your mind remains quiescent. So जो थारी रहा है वो मारी रहा है. Whatever you think is also my thinking. Next shloka, Sriram Uvacha 49. Sriram Uvacha Vivekad Chitta Swarupe Antarhite Mune Maitre Doguna Kruta Jayante Mam Prabho Vada. On account of the rise of discrimination, when the natural state of mind of the sage has vanished, where are the virtues like friendship born? Lord, tell me that. Now Sri Ram is asking, how come virtues like friendship are born when mind has vanished? Vasishtovacha. Vivido Chitta Nashosti. Now the answer has come of the topic which we are talking about. That is the two kinds of disappearance of the mind. द्विविधा चित्तनाशोऽस्ति स्वरूपो रूप एव च जीवन्मुक्तः स्वरूपो स्यात् अरूपो देहमुक्तिजा. So there are two kinds of destruction of mind, with form and without form. It is with form in liberation while living, that without form is born in liberation without the body. 51 श्लोक. चित्तसत्तेह दुःखाय चित्तनाशा सुखाय तु चित्तसत्ताक्षयं नीत्वा चित्तनाशम upanayet. The existence of the mind is for misery, that is productive of sorrow. The destruction of mind is for happiness, that is a productive of happiness. Leaving the reality of mind to decay, let one bring on the destruction of mind. So chitta satya dukkhaya. When mind exists, automatically the dukkha will come. Chitta nashaya sukhaya too. So mind is destroyed, that is dissolving consciousness, there is happiness. Chitta sattam shayam nitva. So leading the reality of mind to decay. Chitta nasham upanaye. Let one bring on the destruction of mind. So mind destruction is important. Sukha dukkhadya pashtabdam asmiteva yeva vinishalam vidyamanam mano vidhi samsara drumadohadam. Known, know the mind as existing, which is supported by happiness and sorrow, and very still only on the cognizance I am. It is the longing of the tree of worldly existence at budding time. So when you get up in the morning after a deep sleep, what do you feel at that time, that moment, very moment, you are nobody. But moment you wake up and then you start interacting, then you become somebody. If wife is in front of you, then you become husband. If your son is in front of you, you become father. If your colleagues are in front of you, you become the boss or subordinate. Likewise, the world is born. So once if you dissolve all your desires from mind, mind gets submerged into the consciousness. So consciousness minus desire is the illumined mind. That has to be known for certain. Sloka number 53. Sukha dukkha dashapad mato mandya mahotsa yam niyanti navairupyam tasya nashto manovidu. They consider his mind as lost or destroyed, whose states of happiness and misery Misfortune and pride, dullness and jubilant do not lead to the difference in nature or outlook. So dukkha, sukha dukkha dasha apad mato manda mahotsavo yam nayanti na vairupyam tasya nashto manovidu. So the duality of the life, like happiness or misery, misfortune or pride, dullness or jubilant, doesn't make any difference for the person. So he is a Jivan Mukta. मैत्रादिभिः गुणैः युक्तं भवत्युक्तं वासनं भूयो जन्म विनिर्मुक्तं जीवन्मुक्तस्य तन्मनः स्वरूपोऽसौ मनो नाशं यत्र भ्रान्ति गुणो इमे. That mind of the person liberated while living, endowed with virtues like friendship, is possessed of the excellent mental impressions and is set free from rebirths. That is a destruction of mind with form, where this virtue shines. If the person is doing everything with that consciousness that divinity is playing through him, whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, whether you want it or not, you are divine. He knows what for certain, and he expresses that is through all the action. That means the spontaneous expression of noble virtues by the person liberated while living in on account of good vasana, that is mental impression, but this does not bind the mind to worldly existence. Such a mind is ever free, is doing everything only as a time pass or only as being Karanataka. He has nothing to do with that, all those stuff. And then called as destruction of mind with form. Then 56. Arupastu manonasham videha muktijo bhavet samagragraya gunadaram apisatvam praliyate. The destruction of mind without form, on the other hand, is produced by liberation without the body. Even the existence of mind, which is the repository of all the foremost virtues, is completely dissolved. So once he is with every nothing is there, so the whole repository of thought process is completely dissolved. Chitta-nashe virupakhe na kinchidapi vidyate na guna na guna tatra na harsha marsha samvida. In the destruction of mind, name without form, not even a little or anything exists, neither virtues nor faults nor the consciousness of pleasure or anger exists there. That is pure undivided consciousness is beyond the limitations of mind. Like you can see in Ramana Maharshi, he could not talk for 18 years because there is nothing to talk. He was always merged in the consciousness. What he will talk? And subsequently he wanted to do the work, so he came from that state. So, as we have seen that Hriday Granthis are the entanglement of avidya, karma, and karma. Incompleteness is knowledge, is leads to desire, fulfillment of the karma. There is nothing, it is the same pure consciousness experiencing through limitations. Therefore, this incomplete knowledge leads to the desire, and that leads to the karma. If this incomplete knowledge is removed, ajnanam is removed, how it is removed is only by understanding, that is samajdari. If the samajdari comes, what will happen in our life? Our life will be always cheerful, blissful, happy, peaceful, full of happiness, tranquil, contented, and over and above cool and relaxed. That status will come in our life. So, for example, I am the body is not the issue. This body I am is only the issue. There are two ways, either I am everything or I am nothing. Avidya is any knowledge which is gained through the limitations of sense organ. Mind is born and taking this knowledge ultimately real one. This phenomena is called as avidya. Whenever there is a sense of incompleteness, it creates the expectations. In conditioned consciousness, agitation is created and mind is born with the desires. So, consciousness plus desire is equal to mind. Mind minus desire is equal to consciousness. Consciousness with desires is a mind. And take an example of handkerchief. It is entangled in a knot, but actually handkerchief is only a cloth. Handkerchief without a knot is the cloth. So they are not two. Similarly, when we do not have any thoughts, when we then do not have any anything which is troubling us. So then there will be no Hridaya Granthi. When there is a pressure of desire, it will express through karma. Avidya, Kama and Karma. This is a cycle. These three factors are Hridaya Granthi. If you want to get rid of this, find it find it how we can withdraw from more and more activities. Karma is enough. To the extent karma is reduced, to that extent desires will be reduced. Then desire to meditate will also go because you know the divinity. That desire should also go. Desire of liberation also goes. And desire of liberation is confession that you are not liberated. So, what is the mantra here? Nothing to gain, nothing because you are the divine. Swami Vivekananda used to say that the whole world is God. He said, no, 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 no. God only exists. That world is an appearance for that. Till such time there is a want, we are far away from the truth. They are living in the body, but they are no more conditioned by the limitations of the body. That is Jivan Mukti. How beautiful it is! They don't have to leave the body. All the problems of life are solved by one thing, and that is by the Chintanam. So, contemplation is a must. If you do the contemplation, all the problems of the life will start. Instead of asking why, you ask who. Who is suffering? When you ask who is suffering, you will come to know that the person who is suffering doesn't exist. He is either relation or upadhi, which is illusionary. So reflect, don't react. Never start from why. Always start who is disturbed, who is angry, who is miserable. And the mind gives the old habits not so quickly. So that's why you have to do this contemplation every day. Listen to this talks of yoga, essence of yoga every day. So slowly this mind will start dissolving and in a pure consciousness and bliss will start flowing in you. Jivan Mukta Purush very much lives in this world but do not react to any situation. They appear reacting, they are beating someone or dancing, you may feel outside like Gajanan Maharaj. But when you ask the person who has been beaten, nothing happens to him. So that is their consciousness. Jivan Mukta Purush are living through the body, but they are not living as the body. So living in the body is not an issue. Getting identified with the body is an issue. So wise people do not talk about the past. Past belongs to the body and not to us. This is very important spiritual practice. Don't talk about your past. Don't ask anybody about their past. So this is first one. Second type is Chittanasham of the body, where mind dissolves 100%. So it is no more a mind. When we are functioning through the mind, it is bound to be miserable. And when mind is dissolved, we'll be always happy. So dissolve the mind and be happy. You have to dissolve the mind, then only we'll be happy. So you have to spend a time all alone for at least some time to begin with maybe 5 minutes, and there you give yourself a instruction that I am nobody. Because nobody is only happy. Somebody is always miserable. So give a command to yourself for nobody. Start from 5 minutes and go till 1 hour, then you'll find there is a tremendous difference in your personality. Therefore, dissolve your mind and be happy. All siddhis are the obstacles on spiritual path. One who is abiding in the self will never have any desire. On the contrary, desirelessness is realization. For the attainment with oneness with the divinity, these siddhis are not supportive. These are of no use. Projections after the perception should be stopped because if projection is stopped, then what will happen? It will kill the mind. Projection aspect of the mind is killed. The mind is an asset. Perform in this world naturally without getting influenced by the world. So this has been a very nice story been told by Vasishtha ji. to Rama Veetahavya Upakhyanam. With this, we conclude the 18th Sarga. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsat Sri Ramachandra Arpanamastu. Submitting the divine fruits to the holy fruits of Sri.